Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, ready to conquer the world. But instead of tackling your goals, you open YouTube. One video leads to another, and somehow you end up watching top 10 mysterious sea creatures that will haunt your dreams. Relatable? Of course. Here's the thing. Most of us go through life like this. Our brains are stuck in basic mode, running at 50 to 60% of their potential. It's like owning a Ferrari, but only using it to drive to the grocery store. But what if I told you your brain is capable of much more? I'm talking supercomputer level performance. You've got the hardware, it's just running outdated software. Lucky for you, today's the day we upgrade it. What if you could learn 20 times faster, recall information like a search engine, and make decisions as efficiently as an AI? Sounds insane, right? But this isn't sci-fi. Your brain already has this potential. You just haven't unlocked it yet. In this video, I'll show you the exact methods and protocols to supercharge your brain. And if you're skeptical, don't worry. I've got the science to back it up. Before we dive in, let's clear one thing up. Can the brain really compete with machines like advanced AI? While AI is built for speed and precision, your brain is built for creativity, adaptability, and imagination. Sure, AI can calculate the trajectory of a spaceship, but can it overthink a text message for 45 minutes? Didn't think so. Jokes aside, your brain is far more powerful than you think, and here's how to unlock its full potential. First things first, let's talk about focus. Focus is like the power button for your brain's supercomputer mode. Without it, you're just a glorified tab hoarder. 20 windows open, but nothing getting done. The problem is, most people don't know how to focus properly. They think it's about staring at a screen for hours. But that's not how the brain works. When you're focused, your thoughts align with the task at hand. But staying focused isn't natural. It's a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Think of focus as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Now let's get practical. How do you train your brain to focus? Start by understanding that focus isn't about avoiding distractions. It's about refocusing every time you get distracted. Picture this. You're working on a project, and suddenly, your brain goes,
I wonder what penguins look like when they
think we walk
sneeze.
sideways?
If tomatoes are fruit, does that make ketchup
Is
a
alien
smoothie?
real?
How could people be
Where did I
gay?
put my key
What if
last
the Earth
night?
is actually flat?
all right, I know that happens often in our mind. It feels like our brain has been hijacked. But instead of fighting these thoughts, acknowledge them, let them pass, and bring your attention back to the task. Every time you do this, you're strengthening your brain's ability to focus. One of the best tools for improving focus is something called the Pomodoro technique. You can Google it for extra explanation for that. But in a simple way, it is to work for 25 minutes. Take a 5-minute break and repeat. It's like a gym workout for your brain, except you don't have to deal with sweaty equipment. But focus is just the beginning. Next is memory. Your brain is an absolute storage powerhouse. Research shows it can store about 3 million hours of movies. That's enough to watch every single Marvel movie and still have room for the director's commentary. Yet most of us struggle to remember where we left our keys. Why? Because we're using the wrong methods. Here's what not to do. Don't rely on note-taking as your primary memorization tool. Writing things down can be helpful, but it's not enough to cement the information in your brain. Instead, use active recall. Instead of just reading stuff and hoping it sticks, you make your brain work to remember it by quizzing yourself, summarizing, or explaining it out loud. It's like flexing your brain muscles to make them stronger. This is where you challenge yourself to remember information without looking at your notes. It's like giving your brain a pop quiz. It's hard, but it works. Let's take it a step further. Learning isn't just about storing information. It's about changing the way your brain operates. Every time you learn something new, your neurons create new connections. The more you practice, the stronger these connections become. Here's a fascinating study to prove it. Researchers found that when individuals took short breaks during practice, we're talking 10-second micro rests, their brains replayed the skill they were learning at 20 times the speed. It's like your brain goes into fast-forward mode during rest. So the next time you're studying or practicing a skill, remember this. Learning happens during rest. Work hard, then rest hard. But there's a catch. To unlock your brain's full potential, you need to confront your greatest enemies, and those are procrastination and addiction. Social media is the biggest culprit here. It's like junk food for your brain. Tasty in the moment, but leaves you feeling sluggish and unfulfilled. Think about it. How many times have you opened TikTok just for 5 minutes and then found yourself watching a guy build a canoe out of papers 3 hours later? Social media is designed to hijack your attention. The more you consume, the harder it becomes to focus on what really matters. The good news? You can fight back. Your brain has a secret weapon called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or AMCC. This part of the brain controls willpower and tenacity. The stronger it is, the easier it becomes to push through discomfort and stay on track. Here's how to grow your AMCC. Do the things you hate. Yeah, it's that simple and that painful. Whether it's waking up early, going to the gym, or tackling that one task you've been avoiding. Every time you push through resistance, you're strengthening your AMCC. Think of it as the gym for your brain. But instead of lifting weights, you're lifting your own laziness. Once you've mastered focus, memory, and willpower, your brain starts operating at a whole new level. Tasks that used to feel impossible now feel like second nature. You'll be that person who actually finishes their to-do list, and maybe even has time left over to relax. So what happens when you return to your daily life with this newfound brain power? For starters, you'll be more productive, more creative, and more confident. You'll start achieving goals that once felt out of reach, and people will begin to notice. They'll ask, "What's your secret?" And you'll just smile and say, "I upgraded my brain." Nevertheless, this isn't just about improving your brain, it's about transforming your life. When you learn to focus, retain information, and overcome distractions, you unlock a version of yourself you didn't know existed. You become the hero of your own story. Now that you know the path, the only question is, will you take the first step? Your brain is ready to evolve. Are you? If you're serious about leveling up, start by applying just one of the techniques we discussed today. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Your supercomputer brain is waiting. Let's unlock it together.